Okay. So then you joined the group.
Right.
And I guess Luke ended up joining the group right around the same time that you did?
Yeah, a little bit afterwards. For some odd reason, Mr. Mixx, he was real fond of Luke. He thought Luke was his brother or whatever. So Mr. Mixx appointed Luke to like be the manager of the group. Because you got to think too, Miami was the first place that ever embraced Two Live Crew, that ever brought him down for a show, that showed Mr. Mixx and Chinaman a lot of love. So I guess Mr. Mixx felt kind of like, I guess real comfortable with Luke or whatever.
Okay. So you end up replacing one of the members, you join the group, and then their first album, The Two Live Crew, is What We Are.
Right.
You're on that, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And the big song on there, well, I guess Throw That D was the local hit, but We Want Some Pussy was the one that kind of became national.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, We Want Some Pussy. Yeah. I wrote that song. I wrote both of the verses for me and Chinaman. The idea for the hook came from Luke. I guess that was one of his chants that he would do while he would be DJing and whatever.
Right. And, these days, a rapper coming out with a song called We Want Some Pussy wouldn't even raise an eyebrow. But back then, We Want Some Pussy, Throw the D, like this just wasn't done in music in general and hip hop in particular. So when this came out, what was the initial reaction?
Well, with me, I didn't like doing that style of rap. You know what I mean? I was, calling myself being on something kind of conscience and like more New Yorkish, more hip hopish. And I really wasn't comfortable with all the profanity that we were putting into the music. But I guess once it had, when you see the reaction from it, in the community and everybody's loving it, you kind of go with it, you kind of go with it. So yeah, it was one of the front running songs that kind of started everything. For Two Live Crew, I would say.
Right. And that album actually went gold.
Yes, that album did.
Independently.
Yeah, independently.
Back when, at that time, it wasn't like today where you could, jump on SoundCloud or upload to Spotify yourself through CD Baby. Like, independent was extremely hard to get off the ground on any level, beyond a very local level. So the fact that you guys went gold with an independent record out of Miami, which really was not a hip hop hotspot at all back then.
No, it wasn't. It was more dance oriented. Had the Caribbean vibe. More dance oriented back then. Gloria Estefan, the Miami Sound Machine, Debbie Deb, Trinier, and all that type of stuff.
Right. And, Fresh Kid Ice, who went on to become the first Asian rapper, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
When you first met him, what did you think?
Honestly, when I first met him, he was kind of unpleasant. He wasn't very open, I guess, to me joining the group. Very standoffish. Seemed like his demeanor was like kind of cold towards me when I first met him. But, I brushed all of that off and showed him some love. And me and Mr. Mixx started doing what we had to do. But I guess over time, me and him became a little bit closer, somewhat, but it is what it is, man.
Well, what was the deal with his arm? I've always wanted to know, because he always had like a cast on his arm, or like a sling or something like that.
No, if you look at that album cover, the Two Live Crew album cover, the first one, Two Live Is What We Are.
Right.
He didn't have a cast.
Well, he's holding his hand in his pocket though. Well, no, I mean his other arm.
Yeah. He didn't have. I don't think he had a cast on that one, on that album. But he had a car wreck. And he was. The doctor's advice to him was to have him to remove the arm, but he didn't want to have that happen. I think he didn't have the cast on Two Live Is What We Are. Did he? Did he have a cast on his arm?
No.
I think it came after that.
His dick.
I think it came after that. I think he flipped out of a Corvette or something, going hanging out with some girls on the beach.
Mm.
Yeah, but one of his military buddies from Philadelphia, some guy, I don't know his name, was I don't know who that guy named. I can't remember his name at this time, but yeah, he had an accident. And I think he was supposed to. I think the doctor's advice to him was he was supposed to have the arm amputated, but he didn't, and it caused complications with him throughout the years.
Okay, that makes sense. So you basically didn't want to just have one arm.
Yeah.
So you'd rather just kind of keep the sling
Right.
or a cast. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yep.
Okay. So after that first album comes out in '88,
88.
well, the first album came out in '86.
No, I think it's what that I think that was like what 85, 85, 85.
Two Live Crew is What We Are, July 25th, 1986.
Oh, 86. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So then by the time we get to '88,
Mm-hmm.
you guys are getting ready for your second album, Move Something. Right around that time, though, Luke actually put out MC Shy D as well, right?
Right.
Okay, and that song "Shake It" was like a huge, huge song.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys know MC Shy D, or was that kind of just a completely separate project?
My first time getting introduced to Shy D, I think when we came up here to do a concert at the Atlanta Convention Center. And I think that's when I got wind of Shy D, and when he came to Miami, that's when I really had a chance to really get to know him.
Right, and MC Shy D actually plays an interesting role in this whole story.
Oh yeah. Me and Shy D got a lot of stories. Me and Shy D together is a movie. Me and him together. I actually had an opportunity to run into him a couple of months ago and hang out with him. That guy's crazy.
I bet.
Yeah, guy. He knows everybody in Atlanta.
Okay, so then you guys put out your second album, Move Something.
Mm-hmm.
This album goes gold as well.
Right.
So now you have two albums that are both gold.
Yep.
And you're pretty much establishing yourself in the music industry. Do Wah Diddy was on this. Move Something, the title track.
Yeah, Move Something. Yeah, that's my song. That's
and
my
that
record.
and I remember that had a music video.
Yes, it did. Had a music video. Yes, it did.
And I remember, right? In Miami, the girls with the booty shaking and everything else like that was pretty common. But where I was growing up in the Bay Area, like this wasn't really like this type of imagery you didn't really see. I mean, you saw girls with their titties shaking and everything else like that, the whole Playboy thing, but the big butts and the booty shaking, that was really like, I think the first time that America as a whole really started to see that type of thing. And I felt like it sort of changed the perception of how women are viewed to a certain degree.
Yeah. I mean, it was the first time that America actually saw black women exposing, their body to that point. But I wouldn't go as far as to say how women are kind of viewed, you know what I'm saying? Because, women doing things, like that was going on way before Two Live Crew was ever in existence.
I understand, but this is the first time it's on national television.
Right,
like when it got on Yo MTV Raps,
right,
and the whole country got to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, you fast forward to 2022, when you talk about like one of the top females in the world, in terms of what people consider beauty, you look at Kim Kardashian, who has a huge ass.
Right.
Like in the 80s, it wasn't like that. Like girls with huge asses were
those asses were real. Those asses were real.
Those asses were real, right? But that's
now
what I'm saying.
Those asses are plastic. They're plastic
exactly.
now. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you guys, I felt really introduced that, and I felt like that really kind of changed the perception of beauty and what men find attractive, how women wanted to look, that really carries on and really, start to build. So, like I said, I feel like, you guys really were trendsetters in that regard.
Well, we kind of bring it to the forefront to kind of make it like kind of cool for like, a nice figured voluptuous black woman to basically, wear less. You know what I mean? Right. To wear less and have it naturally.
Exactly.
And have it naturally. So, I mean, that was cool. I think it kind of shocked America because a lot of people wasn't ready for it. But,
right.
In Miami, you got South Beach, you got Ocean Avenue. Everybody's walking around there naked, half naked, basically.
Yeah. Okay. And So this is the second album that comes out, and both albums are really explicit and have a lot of sex, X-rated lyrics, and so forth. And was it around this time that like record store owners started to get arrested and cited for selling these copies?
No, that happened when Nasty As We Wanna Be came out. Move Something, Two Live Is What We Are, and Move Something was going good. Was going good. It's till when I wrote Me So Horny. Me So Horny came out on Nasty As We Wanna Be, and it started becoming, you know, a little bit more pop, so to speak, and it started getting to, you know, the other audience, which was the white kids and all of that. And then it was a shock, and the things that we were saying, you know, some people took offense to it, but you know, shit, we were already, you know, we were already using, you know, the saying and making the most degrading material ever on our first two albums. You know what I mean?
I mean, at your age, when you look back at some of the lyrics, you know, for example, you know, me and my homies like to play this game, some call it Amtrak, you know, we call it the train. And there's a part of the song where you say, the girl will say, stop, I say, I'm not. I mean, kind of rapey lyrics when you look back on it.
Yeah, but I have never forced myself on a female. I've never raped a young lady. I've always had consensual sex. Never none of that. Never none.
I understand that, and I'm not accusing you of that.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is that when you look at those lyrics, some of
that shit was going on back then, and for that one particular song, that song was made up on experiences. I experienced that type of stuff. I've never ran a train on a girl until I met Luther. Not saying that Luther is all bad, but that was the kind of thing that was going on, you know, in Miami, you know, at that time.
Yeah.
You know, we got to Miami. It was sort of a lawless place where anything goes, and girls was there, and it was guys that was, you know, really like extrally on some thug and some, you know, some goon shit. And, you know, in Miami, it was nothing, you know, if you would hear guys say all the time, if I got rape license, that's what I heard in Miami. So, you know, I used to see girls get abused and slapped for not participating. And, I am not, you know, trying to put anybody out there, whatever, snitch on anybody, but it was a lot of shit that I've never seen or heard, you know, before I got to Miami and experienced it.
Yeah, I mean, this is the cocaine era of Miami, essentially.
Hey, man, Miami was wide open. Like I said, it was lawless. It was lawless back then.